Hey YouTube, it's the American Samurai back in another classic comic review. We're going to take a look at a comic character that you may not have heard of, but who is a warrior all the same, hence why I'm being joined by the Ultimate Warrior. And you may not be familiar with him, but if you're a fan of The Watchmen, then you are familiar with his counterpart, Ozymandias. Yes, we're talking about the character who was last seen on DC Comics on the Crisis, Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. But we'll also be talking about the characters known as the Sentinels. This is Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, issue number 55. This is, in this story, Peter Cannon. For those of you who are not familiar with the character, and the reason his costume was like it was, is Peter Cannon was, his creator was inspired by the original Daredevil, who wore a red and blue costume. So hence why Peter Cannon's costume looks like that. And his power is he has the knowledge of, the forgotten knowledge of the ancients, which he's able to use and focus that increases his strength and speed and can alter his abilities in different ways. So essentially, his opponent this time is a mummy. Actually, it is a modern scientist who's able to transfer his consciousness into the preserved body of a Egyptian slave who, through some ritual of ancient times, his body was perfectly preserved into a safe spin animation. But the brain itself, even though we know in modern times that the brain, as long as other organs were removed, at this time they obviously didn't know that, or the writer didn't know that. So in this story, the brain is still in the mummy's mind, but this modern man is able to, through science and technology, actually merge his mind with that of the mummy's mind, giving this person both the knowledge of the past and the future. So Peter Cannon is forced to fight somebody who also possesses the knowledge of the past, as well as knowledge of current times. So of course we have him facing a tiger, which, if you're familiar with Ozymandias, that's kind of a little nod. I don't know if that's where they got the idea for his creature, his cat creature that you have later. And of course you have his servant, who actually does, I think, show from DC Universe stories. But yeah, on the Crisis, they actually thought, the person who was writing that story actually thought that Peter Cannon was a super speedster. He isn't. But overall, the story is pretty good, and it is worth reading. I'd give it a 5 out of 5. And then we're going to check on the last one, which focuses on the Sentinels and their ongoing battle with Mindbender. These are 3 individuals, folk singers, who are given special gadgets by a scientist upon his passing. One means each costume gives them different powers. One has super strength, one has ESP, and one has flight. So essentially they're Thunderbolts, just with a different name. Written by Dick Giordano, Gary Friedrich, and I guess the writer for this one. So yeah, so essentially these are like kind of rookie versions of the Thunderbolts, but they don't have the government backing and they're folk singers. Overall, it's an okay story. It introduces an enemy, and you're gonna get to they're gonna have to battle this enemy going through, because only the Doctor knew who the Mindbender really was. A 3 out of 5. Overall, it was a good issue, and I enjoyed it for what it was. The Peter Cannon thing was okay. This is interesting just in itself, because you got kind of that Fantastic Four thing of this new team going together. Overall, I really enjoyed it. The Warrior really enjoyed it. I'd recommend picking it up. Like I said, I think you can find this pretty easily. This was Peter Cannon Thunderbolt number 55. I think the character Thunderbolt is still in continuity, but I think like the Sentinels and everything else, I think are in public domain. Alright, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you're new. And this has been a Vintage Comic Review. Let me know what you guys think, and have you guys ever heard of Peter Cannon Thunderbolt? All right, until next time, this is American Samurai. Stay safe, stay sane. Keep reading comics, and we'll see you next time right here on Bucky749.